friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Don't really have a lot of cleaning to do because we did it over the weekend and I did not film it. My husband was kind of had a, I don't know, like a wild hair up his butt, I guess is what it's called, and he just wanted to clean and kind of shampoo our carpets because we have 2 dogs now, and they were making a mess of the carpets. So not really pottying, but we've had a lot of rain the past couple of weeks, and we've got bare spots in our yard, so they were tracking mud in and out, so we were kind of wanting to get that cleaned up. And he is extremely camera shy, so he would not let me record it, so for the sake of my channel. But there are a few things that I would like to get taken care of that he did not take care of over the weekend. So one of them is I need to change our bed, so let's get that done.
At the wrong place at the right time, 'cause suddenly there you were with those bright blue eyes. We were conversing under the night sky when you took my hand, said let's leave now. Don't wanna be shy.
Good morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you guys are watching this. I did post it in the morning, so I don't know if you guys catch it around that time when I post it, but I figured we'd have a little story time today. So a lot of people like to ask when or how my husband and I met. So we met in 2006. We live in a small country town in Georgia, the state of Georgia, about an hour west of the city of Atlanta. If you know the city of Atlanta, it's a huge population, so we like the country, and the town that we live in is kind of country. Now, it's not horse and buggy country, and we don't live in a pasture or anything like that. We don't even have cow pastures out where we live, and there's nothing wrong with that. We actually would love to live on a farm one day, but they are expensive, and our finances would not handle that right now, with kids and school and all that. And we're wanting to save up to send our kids to school. Our kids have high expectations and want to go to college. So anyways, I lived in a even more country town when my husband and I met, but my mother lived in a town that we're living in right now. And my husband just married my mom just married her husband and had moved out to this town, and they were moving into the house and needed help moving. So my husband was friends with her new husband's son, my new stepbrother. They needed extra hands to move all my mom's stuff into that house. My poor stepdad, he didn't have anything. I think he might have had like a suitcase of some stuff. Hispanic men, they don't really travel with a lot. But my husband was one of the men that had come up to help my mother. And I tell you guys, when I first saw him, sparks flew. I knew that this was the man that I was going to marry. And by the end of the day, he asked me for my phone number, and I gave him mine. I gave him mine and he gave me his, but he's a very shy man. So I waited a day or two and he did not call me. And so I called him, and he was helping. He lived with his sister because he had just come down from New York. It was winter season it was the winter, and in the winter in New York, there's not a lot of construction work because it is so cold. So that's why he came to Georgia, which I'm so thankful for, because if he didn't come to Georgia, then we would have never met. But he was living with his sister, and I had called one day, and his sister had answered, and she didn't understand English. So I was trying to ask for Manuel, but his family knows him as Meme. So when I tried to ask for Manuel, she didn't understand me. So she hung up on me. But it's okay because later that evening, no, not later that evening, but within like 2 or 3 minutes, he called me back and he apologized and just said that his sister didn't understand English, and I was fine with it. And eventually I met his sister, and she was super, super sweet to me. And to this day, she's sweet to me. And she knows English now. And his whole family is just really nice to me. They love me. They love my kids. Well, they love our kids. My oldest, that's 26, she's not his. But his sisters, they do not separate her from our kids. When, like, during Christmas and birthdays, they include her. They send her cards for her birthdays. When she graduated high school, they sent her a card. When they live in New York, we went to New York, and they made sure she had Christmas under the tree. They include her in everything, and I just love, love, love how they include her in everything, because on her biological dad's side, she is not included on that family. And as a matter of fact, about 2 or 3 years ago, she was told by her biological dad that he did not want anything to do with her, that he just wanted her to stay away from him, which is a horrible thing to tell your child that just wants a relationship with you, that just wants to know who her real dad is. But Alora took it like a trooper. She took it like an adult, and she came to her real dad, who is my husband, Manuel, who has raised her since she was 9 years old. And she said, you know what? I just want you to adopt me. And even though she was an adult, she didn't want the adoption for the last name. She wanted the adoption because on her birth certificate, it says, under father, it says unknown. And she just wanted on her birth certificate for it to not say unknown anymore. She wanted a name there. So now it says my husband's name. And that's what she wanted. And I'm proud of the person that my daughter has become, the adult that my daughter has become. And my husband and her have a very, very good father-daughter relationship. And I don't regret anything, because Alora wouldn't be the person that she is today without going through what she's gone through. And if I regretted meeting her father and going through what I went through with him, I wouldn't have Alora to this day. And Alora and I have a great relationship. And it's not always been roses and peaches, but you have to go through trials and tribulations to get to the roses and peaches. And I think I've gotten off subject, but my husband and I dated. So we met in June, and we dated until September. He asked me to marry him in September, and I, of course, said yes. And he moved in with me. I know a lot of people don't like that, but he moved. I mean, it was, we were both in our 30s, so it was like, why waste any more time? So he moved in with me, and this was September. So we moved in together. Well, I had the house. I was a single parent at the time, so I had to make sure I had a home for me and Alora. So it was where I had lived, so it was smart. It was a smarter decision for him to just move in with me, because he was still living with a sister, and Alora was set with school and everything, so we didn't want to uproot her and take her away from her friends. So the decision was made for him to move in with me. And then from that point, that was September. So from then we married in April. And then that's when we found out that we were pregnant with our son together, that's Seth. We continued to live in that little house while I had Seth So it was me, my husband, and Alora and Seth. So it was the four of us. And it was a very small 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And it was hard for the four of us to live in this house because it was so small. So I want to say Seth was about, he was 3 months, and we decided to move over to the city instead of the county. And the city had better schools than the county did. And the house that we moved into was a little bit bigger. It still had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but that was okay. It was a little bit bigger. And we lived there longer. We lived there for about 5 years. It was still a rental, which was fine because I know now that we were not ready. We were not in a buying position. And the city that we moved to, I did not realize, did not have school buses. So I had to take the kids to school and pick them up. So it was at that point that we realized that Seth was a very sick baby, and because he was only about 3 months. And it lasted for a while, and so we came to the decision that I had to stay home with him until he was old enough to go to school. And so I stayed home with him, and then we got pregnant with Bella, and which was a good thing because I was already home, and we didn't have to worry about, because when I was pregnant with Seth, I had to work with him, which was a bad situation because I was kind of sick when I was pregnant with him. Blood pressure issues. And so with her, I wasn't really that sick, except for morning sickness, but no blood pressure issues. So being able to stay home while I was pregnant with her and taking care of him was a good thing. And Laura was at school all day. So it really worked out for the best, for our benefit. So I was able to take care of all 3 of them, which was what I wanted. I wanted to stay home and take care of all of them. So when Bella was about 2, I decided to go back to, my husband and I both of us decided that I would go back to work. And that was in 2012. And I worked from 2012 to 2019. And then other medical situations started to arise, and we talked, and that's when we decided that I would start staying home again. And so I've been home since 2019, and I'm home. So I'm home now, and I am doing YouTube for a hobby, just to kind of keep myself busy and try not to get too bored and going crazy. And doing it for the love of, sharing my life with you guys, and just doing things very slowly because I am in pain every single day. I'm in pain sitting on the couch right now talking to you guys right this very second. And you'll see right here I put break time on the screen because you'll see here in a minute I've got to take a rest. I have a migraine and a low back pain. And my back pain goes all the way down my legs, and that is what is hurting me right now, is my legs that start just below my bottom all the way to behind my knee. That is what is hurting me right now. And if you ask me on a pain scale, I would tell you my pain scale is a number 10 right now. I don't want to take pain medication because I don't want to sleep all day. The sun is out. It rained all day yesterday, and today the sun is out. Tomorrow the sun will be out, and then the rest of the week it is supposed to rain. And I don't want to sleep my life away. And if there's any of you out there that can relate, please leave me a comment below that you are in pain all the time and you don't want to be drugged out all the time. Sorry, that was my little rant. But to let you know, my husband and I, in June, we would be together for 17 years. And in April, we will be married for 16 years. And every year, I think I fall more in love with this man, which I didn't realize was possible. But I do. He takes such good care of me. I have so many medical issues. It would be impossible to sit here and list them all for you. But one of my medical issues is gastroparesis. And if anyone knows anything about gastroparesis, is when you have a flare-up, you throw up nonstop. And To me, throwing up is the most disgusting thing that a human being can do. Now, when you're pregnant, it's natural. It's natural. It's part of pregnancy. You can't help it. But you can take a Zofran or a Phenergan and it stops you from throwing up. But when you have a gastroparesis flare up, none of that works. None of it. And when you throw up, the smell, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to make you sick, but let me just say there's a difference between pregnancy throw up and gastroparesis throw up, because I've had both. And the difference is the smell. And the night that I had the most intense gastroparesis flare up, and I was so sick, and my husband brought me home and basically carried me from the car to my bed, and he had to stop at the outside so I could throw up, and he was holding on to me so that I didn't fall onto the ground. I asked him, I said, I am so disgusting, how can you stand to be with me? And he said, for better or worse, through sickness and health. And he's right. He is exactly right. And I am so thankful that God gave me that man, because without him, I don't know where I would be. So, if you guys have the greatest husband in the world, leave me a comment down below. Even if you have the greatest boyfriend or girlfriend or your whatever, fiance, partner, if you have the best dog or the best cat in the world, leave me emoji. Leave me anything you want. Leave me a star, leave me a sun, leave me a moon, whatever you want to leave me. Just leave me something. Let me know you're there. Let me know that you heard me. And I forgot to mention that in 2013, we were able to purchase the house that we're living in right now. And we've been here about 10 years. December will be 10 years. So if you are looking for your forever home and you want to buy, just keep looking up. It's going to happen. It happened for us, so it can happen for anyone. And we're heading to the end of this video, and I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today and listening to my never-ending rambling. And if you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.